Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet and welcome back. Today's project is building this sitting bench. I love this little bench. It was fairly easy to make. It looks great and it will fit almost any decor, and more than that, it's comfortable to sit in. The legs are sloping, the armrests are sloping. It's just a attractive little bench to make. I'm going to show you all the secrets that I learned in making this, so stick around. Before I get started with the build, I want to show you a couple of secrets that when you're a woodworker, the little details can make all the difference. Now, the first thing when you look at is the curved legs, but there's a little secret to the curved legs, and that is that the legs are actually flush. They're straight on one side. They're only curved on this side. So it gives the illusion that the legs are curved like this one. In fact, they're not. And when I put a square on here, you can see that it's absolutely 90 degrees. Now that makes building a lot easier because now you've got a straight edge here, a straight edge on your cross piece, and a straight edge on your leg. And that straight is all the way down. Now it's not only straight on this side, it's straight on the inside, so that the cross members in here, let me turn that around for you. So there's the inside and there's the side I just showed you, and this is straight and that is straight, and you can tell that because again the cross members are all straight and vertical. The curves are on the outside, so both on the outside and again on the outside, and that makes building this so much easier because now you've got square sides, square flat sides on all the inner sides. The other feature, and I'll talk about this later on in the video, is this armrest here, and I struggled with that on what to do with it, how long to make it. I didn't want it to jut out too far, and I wanted to have the same theme. So the narrow going to the thick and the narrow going to the thick. So I'll talk about that later on, but let's get started with the build. The first thing I did when selecting my lumber was to check for the moisture content, and I like to be working with anything below 9%. So this is good. The next thing I did was joint one face side and one edge side. Now that I've jointed one face side and one edge, I want to cut this lumber to rough sizes because I want to let it sit for 3 or 4 days in case there's any built-in tensions in the wood, and that way I can straighten that up before I cut the wood to its exact dimensions. So that's how easy that is. I'm going to carry on and do the rest of the wood in the same manner. Now I just need to clean those up a little bit and we'll be ready to start using them. Okay, I had to fiddle with it a little bit, but you can see that there's a nice curve all the way along to that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my marking pen and just mark this all the way along. Then I'll take it to the bandsaw and I will cut right up to the line. Okay, so there's the back of that right leg. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use some double-sided tape that I have, and I'm going to tape that on there. I'm going to tape the part that I've just cut off. I'm going to tape that back on there because I need some support still, because now I need to take my template, put my template on here, line that up, and draw another line here and cut that on the bandsaw as well. Now the next thing I need to do is to lay out the joinery for the attaching pieces that are going to attach the four legs together. Now, frankly, for a bench like this, I would never make this bench without anything except dowels. Dowels are going to be the strongest joint that you have, and because you've got a little bit thinner wood in here, the nice thing with dowels is they grip on all four sides, so it makes a very, very strong joint. Okay, so I've set up everything and I've got face side to face side on all of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and drill these holes and we'll do some testing. Okay, now I just need to drill some holes into the cross members, and I'm again face side to face side, and I'm starting from the very top, so 4 holes here. Now I have a great start on the armrests, and you can see there's a really nice dip in there, but I still have a little bit of work to do. I need to do a round over here, I need to do a round over underneath, and I need to do, remember I talked about I need to do an inset here, and I don't know how far I'm going to cut that in there because I need these legs assembled to see how much room I have before I start cutting that, because this of course needs to be flat because the leg or the armrests are going to be at the top. You're looking at the bottom of the legs now. So the next thing I'm going to do is a bit of an assembly. I get lots of people asking me, why do you always pre-finish before you do the glue up? And the answer is pretty simple. You can see that I get squeeze out. Squeeze out glue is a great thing. You want squeeze out always. But when you pre-finish, you can clean that glue off. It doesn't leave any kind of a mark. You don't get glue marks after the fact. It's just so much easier to clean up. Now, the next thing I need to do is to make sure that these are absolutely square. And that one is. Okay, now that all my uprights are dry and hard, I'm going to do the final assembly here without the armrest because those are the last thing that I still need to do. So everything is pre-finished, everything's ready to go. I've got all my dowels ready to go here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to speed this up and there isn't going to be any commentary as I'm going along here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill one side with dowels, with glue and then dowels, and then I'll push all of the long parts in. And you can see I have my long pipe clamps here. I'll be using that to ease them in because these dowels fit very snugly in there. And of course, with a little bit of glue in there, they tend to want to expand even more, which is one of the reasons they make such an excellent fit. So I'll be doing that, and we'll just go along and you'll see what it looks like to do this full assembly. Okay, well there's the carcass all glued up. It's still damp, so I want to allow it some time to sort of harden up. I'll let it sit overnight. But you probably noticed in the area that I speeded up there, I checked all of the legs for square, and that's one of the beauties of working with dowels, because when you work with a flat straight surface and you cut another flat straight surface, when you push them together they always align. That's why I always look for glue squeeze out at the top and the bottom, because that means that those pieces have pushed together perfectly. And when I put a square on there, they're always in a line. So I almost never ever have to worry about sort of alignment when I'm using dowels. Now, let me show you the armrests and what I've been fussing about with the armrests. Now, if you've never used dowel finders, what they are is a little item like this. And if you look closely, you'll see it's got a little point on the top. And what we do with those is we insert those into the hole that we want to put a dowel in. And now we want to find a matching place on the outside here. And so what I need to do, I'm going to, off camera, I'm going to measure so that this is equal on each side. And then we just push down on that and it makes a little indentation. And now I can feel that digging in. And there's the point. So now what I need to do, I'm going to drill a little bit of a pilot hole in there, and then I'll drill a hole in there, and then we'll be able to put that in there. So I'll do this side first of all, then I'll do the back side. Now the next hole is going to be in the back, and I need to do the same thing with the back as what I did with the front. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put that little dowel finder in there, but what I don't have yet is some tape on the back. So I'm okay. Line that up. There we go. Okay, now we'll see if these fit in there. Look at that. Perfect. All right. Okay, I want to give you a quick update as to where I am. So the arms are all sanded and fitted and everything. They're not glued in yet. They're just a friction fit at the moment. What I'm doing here, I went through agony on what to do with the seat, and I finally ended up doing this. And what I have here is just a piece of plywood. You can see that I finished the ends on it so that you don't notice it from the side. You won't really be able to see it anyway from the side, but in case you do. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to countersink and drill screws in all of this. And the reason I'm doing this, I want this sitting bench to be as accessible to other people in the future to do whatever they might want to do with it. If they want to change the cover, if they want to integrate the cover into the seat, they'll be able to do that without sort of dismantling or destroying the seat the way it is, because the fabric seat on here is probably going to get changed in the course of the life of this sitting bench. So that's why I've done that. I don't normally do this sort of thing, but in this case, I'm making it so that you could have more options in the future. So I'm going to go ahead. I need to finish this off. This is just a piece of plywood in here that I'll screw down, and there's what it's going to go to. So that's all glued and fastened onto the carcass. And when at the same time, I'll finish the arms and glue them in, and we'll be ready for the seat. Well, that concludes my video for today. And I have to say, I'm so delighted with the way this bench looks. It looks better in person than it even looked in the pictures that I had. And it was fairly easy to build, and it will suit, so as I've said earlier, it'll suit so many decors. You can put this thing anywhere. It can be in a living room, it could be in a hallway, it could be an entryway bench, so many places where you could use something like this. If you're into building woodworking things, one of the projects I did a little while ago was a cabinet that I used barn doors. I used barn wood doors for it. It's been a very popular video. You may be interested in something like that, so that'll pop up here. You'll be able to go and have a look at it. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.